So anyways, guys, we have a second topic. We've sort of already gotten our live stream here. If you were watching the previous live stream, it was about the fact that now there is a special committee to help foreign people who are already in Russia and having difficulty with the immigration process for all sorts of madness and contradictions, and to help people begin the process of coming from their country of origin to Russia. Can you believe it? The Just or Fair Russia Party is doing some big things. I'm a part of it. Special committee. You should check out that live stream right now if you're curious. But we have to talk about one other major topic that is a bit of a game changer that we've kind of talked about a little bit in the last few minutes. But guys, every Russian bank of note, there may be some sort of weird bank run by some weird man in one village in Dagestan, but every major Russian bank is now sanctioned. Tinkoff is sanctioned, all the other ones. Even though Tinkoff did basically everything that Washington has ever asked them to do, bow down on their knees and kiss that deep state butt, every bank in Russia is sanctioned. And we were also kind of talking about with physical money. Now, someone was mentioning that they bring money here and there. A few people have been telling me that I was misinformed, or that maybe officially you really aren't supposed to bring very much foreign currency out of Russia, that essentially it's kind of like, as Scott Ritter called it, it's like Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's what I've been told. That's what I've read online. But apparently in reality, that doesn't really seem to happen very much. This is very similar how people who are divorced in Russia, if the one parent wants to take the child overseas, they need the signature of the other parent. And even when you're in marriage, you're still supposed to technically do this. My kids have never been checked for that once, which is disappointing. That's one form of bureaucracy that I think is a good form of bureaucracy. But so I went and had notarized letters of permission to allow my kids to travel overseas. I've done them for no reason, because I guess they don't check, or they've never checked for me. So anyways, oftentimes things may be officially a law in Russia, but de facto, they are not. So apparently you can actually take foreign money back outside of Russia, and they're not really checking for it, and that you can bring quite a heaping load of money to Russia, and they're not really checking for it either. This is all anecdotal evidence. Everything I've read has told me sort of the opposite, that you're only supposed to bring 10 grand here. And also that if you're using your good old crypto, that somehow the Russian government knows when you withdraw more than $10,000 worth of crypto. So anyways, we'll get to crypto. But so anyways, one of the major options is, if you're visiting Russia, is that you essentially can gather all your nerve, try to fly through a very safe country, and bring it all in cash. And in theory, maybe even bring it with you on vacation. So apparently that's the way it is, guys. So people keep telling me that they're able to do that, and I have to believe them, because kind of why would they lie about something like that? Now, so that's our issue with, first off, with your bank. One thing that was confusing to people, again, about these banks is why I mentioned that all the banks are now sanctioned, all of them, every major bank here, is that you can still get a bank account there. And you having a bank account in a sanctioned bank does not make you a bad person. The bank is still the bad entity. So you can come here, anyone, and with your visa, and I think with your migration card, and a little bit of time, you can open a bank account here. I do know someone who opened a VTB bank account. I know someone personally who opened a Tinkoff bank account, and I saw a video on one channel of a particularly now ever-growingly famous Polish lady who opened a spare bank account. So we have proof positive that Tinkoff, VTB, and Sberbank all work, and they're easy to do, even for foreign people who only are here on some kind of visa. So that's still pretty sweet. That's useful because, in Russia, having a debit card is really nice. Although you kind of have to pay like $1 a month to have it. That's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, especially if you bring $10,000. So, anyways, we can have bank accounts, although all the banks are sanctioned. What else can we do? We have apparently the ability to bring as much money as you want and still somehow leave with it in direct direct conflict with everything that I've read up to this point, but apparently people can do it. And then we're going into the world of crypto. In fact, we have some messages here. Remember, guys, if you want to drop a message, why not put it where it says Telegram live stream starts in 30 minutes on the Tim Kirby Hardcore channel, and I will see it for sure. And, of course, you can use the raise your hand feature because we're doing a sort of double live stream tonight. So you might as well ask some more questions with your voice if you have them. So, Alex says, I trade BTC as in Bitcoins for rubles that get deposited on my Russian card. The minimum amount to do this is the equivalent of around $400. Yeah, that is one thing about with Bitcoin. You kind of get into these like minimum amounts, but $400 is a little high. But then again, Alex, if you're working, $400 is not that high. And every 6 months, I go to Finland to use Western Union to take money in $10,000 increments by bus. Oh, so there is something about the $10,000 barrier. Okay. But that's coming more from the West, and I think the taxes. So he says he goes to Finland by bus to use Western Union to take money in $10,000 increments by bus into St. Petersburg. Interesting. That's another option. But remember, there's never any guarantee that those Baltic states or Finland is going to have an open border with Russia. They can open and close at any time. But that still look pretty good. And let's see. You're getting $10,000 every 6 months. That's kind of like an average Russian salary. Not bad, man. Not bad. Sounds pretty good. And if you're somehow doing some Bitcoin in between that, then that's even better. Good for you, man. You're well on your way to living the Playboy lifestyle. So, very nice. Does that mean the banks don't have to report to the IRS anymore about Ben? Well, I reported everything that I earned from my fantastic voice acting that has created my beautiful studio to the IRS because that was on Tinkoff Bank. And Tinkoff Bank has been, like I said, in complete compliance with the powers that be of the United States. So if I didn't tell them that I do voice acting, I think I could get in even more trouble than I already am. So I did this time, but that doesn't change much because unless you're earning baller money, you don't have to pay taxes living overseas. But then again, remember, if you're someone like me who moved overseas when you were in your 20s, that means your Social Security is basically nothing. You know, there's no going back for me, especially at retirement age. So, yeah. So that's just something also take in mind that once you start coming here and all your money goes into this pension system rather than the other pension system that we call Social Security, you are not going to be in a good situation when you're old. So anyways, Horatio Hornblower asks, I love that. I watched that show, I think, a bunch when I was a kid. Horatio Hornblower, along with Sharp's, was it Sharp's Revenge? Oh, so many muskets. Amazing. It is possible to move to Russia to start a small business in a profession I am doing in my own country. Oh, so is it possible? I want to run a tree surgery business. Well, Horatio, again, if you're ready to commit to this, if you're ready to put the chips down and move to Russia this year, well, let's make a case file for you. We're going to submit that to that committee, and they can kind of get into this thing about, whether they can maybe get you hired in something related to that, so you could maybe start at least working here and then maybe make the jump to something else. Because one thing that would be really hard is come to Russia, open a business not speaking Russian. Besides our friend Greg, the guy with a lot of tattoos, who's a barber, and his amazing barber shop, he's the fluke in a lot of ways. He has done a lot of things that are unbelievable. He's the first person I've ever heard of to do successfully that whole hire yourself as a highly qualified specialist, employ yourself here and start a business. And while he does that, he really didn't speak any Russian at all, which is nuts. So he is hardcore. He is a very smart guy, and he's done the impossible. But I would not recommend trying to start a business here if you don't speak Russian really well. It'd be much better to kind of start off being like a young tree, being nurtured by others to grow strong, and then kind of go out on your own there. Because apparently only Greg is the only person on the planet who is capable of doing something like that. So if you're not Greg, it ain't happening. Alex, I obey the $10,000 limit just to make sure there are no problems, since I can always take another bus if for whatever reason, I need more money for anything like a house purchase. Okay. Well, Alex, again, if you're, making good bank, you should already be buying a place to live, as in house or apartment, dude. Do not blow your money. If you're making good money like this, got to get your life set up, man. Because as soon as you're not paying rent, as soon as you're, owning all real estate and the only expenses you have are like electricity, which in Russia costs like nothing, that's when you live dolce vita. You know what I mean, man? So just my advice. I'm not exactly Dave Ramsey here, but so anyways, so again, friends, this live stream, why I wanted to talk on this sort of part 2 of today's live stream, what I wanted to talk about was because, everything keeps changing with this money situation, and it only gets worse because a lot of these things, like people, especially Russians, tend to get kind of like smug with solutions. And everyone's like, well, you can just open a bank account in Kazakhstan and you just take the money from dollars and then you change it to rubles and you send it to Russia. Oh, that's already been closed, apparently. That's already not an option. I've been told that used to work. Now it doesn't. So, just because today the situation is bad but not dismal doesn't mean that things might not get way, way worse in the future. So, unfortunately, guys, we are now living in a Russia where every possible bank is sanctioned. And remember, that may sound strange because some of the banks have Western names, but they're a separate legal entity from their Western counterparts with the way Russian laws work. So, Raiffeisen Bank being sanctioned here has zero effect on Raiffeisen Bank, the Austrian, entity, or maybe I should say international entity. The Russian entity is in deep doo-doo. So anyways, guys, it looks like no one has their hand raised. We don't have too many questions. Someone just wrote something, and then maybe we'll hit. Oh, someone does want to talk. Russia, Russia firsthand. You're back. You're back on.
Yeah. Hello, me again. And just thanks for answering my last question. I didn't get a chance to thank you for that. I just a little bit about this bringing money into the country. I've just heard a few things tonight, and I may be wrong, but I've been looking into this lately, and my information is a little bit different, because I am in the country right now, but I'm going to be going out for about a month shortly, and I'm planning to come back with money, larger than 10,000. So as I understand it, you can bring 10,000 into the country without declaring it. So you can bring any amount you want, but over 10,000, you ought to declare it. And actually, that's a good thing, because then you'll have like an official document that shows that money came from outside of the country, which, as far as I understand it, means you're going to have less problems when you try to go deposit that into a bank, like dealing with tax issues and financial.
Yeah, I can see the advantage of that. I can see the advantage of that. So yeah. Like I said, I guess that's my
understanding. No, that's my understanding. But if I've got it wrong, please let me know, because
no. I've heard people have told me a bunch of times that they're like, nah, it's cool, man. You just can bring it in and declare it. So, I guess it's okay to do that. And you should definitely. Some people are very anti-bank, and I understand why. But there's something that's always kind of nice about having the money in like spare banks' vaults or their systems rather than having it under your pillow. You know what I mean? So
as far as I know, that's pretty much the only way to buy real estate now. So that's kind of why I want to get my money.
No. You can buy. Well, the problem is because you don't have citizenship. You're going to have basically, you don't have to tell me what citizenship you're from. Judging by your accent, you're from a country that's on the unfriendly list. So what's going to happen?
It's on the very unfriendly list. Yeah,
very unfriendly list, which means you can't buy property in Russia anymore. So if you want to get around that, there are ways to get around that. It depends also how much you trust me. And maybe how much you might trust other people who might try to work with you to create some sort of end-around situation with that. Because as it stands now, you can't buy anything legally.
When did that happen? Because I knew that they were setting up some committee to they were going to have to evaluate all real estate transactions involving people from unfriendly countries. But that was not long after the SMO started. And then they went, this is last year in 2022, and then they went back on that? It's kind of hard to explain because it was
Well, here's the thing, dude. How about this? One thing I guess I should have maybe brought up earlier, but I was kind of dumb. Is I actually found a real estate agent that I've known her for like a decade, just sort of like on and off. Our sort of paths have crossed and all that. And she was. I recently bought that apartment downtown through her because I was seeing her on VK and I saw that and I was like, this is amazing. And so I bought it, right? And so how about this? If you would be willing to maybe like if you really have a specific type of Russian dream about in terms of apartment or house or whatever you want to do.
I bought a dot summertime.
Oh. Hold on. Now we're getting confusing. Hold on. Gotta mute you. We'll let you back on. What I'm trying to say is if you have a specific sort of dream and you're here and you got the money, then let's do this. Let us first find you an option, especially through my real estate friend. You don't have to use her. You a free country, man. You want to use a real estate agent that has nothing connected to me, that's cool. I just can say that this person I've known for a decade and they haven't, effed me over and they haven't effed over anyone else I know. I also know a very good real estate lawyer who can also help out for pennies, okay, that I've bought now 3 pieces of property through, hasn't screwed me over. And we can find an option for you, and then we can maybe just start the process of actually buying it. And rather going then from what news articles say and what people sort of tell me, you could actually maybe start the process, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what the system says, the YGRN system says. We'll see what the banks actually say, the actual bank representatives, and we can go from there, and maybe you can get the problem solved. And during the process, you can hook up my real estate friend with a little bit of a salary there for her work, and we can deal with it from there. If the bank says no, F you, then that's when we start to get into the legal trickery to try to help you out and give you the place you need. While maybe making it seem like that place, you're renting it to own it from someone else. You see what I mean? There's always a way, okay? So anyways, let me have you back on there, Russia, firsthand. Sorry I cut you off, but it's never good for these live streams if we're talking over each other. So anyways, did that help you at all?
Totally. And no, my apologies if I didn't want to talk over you. No, I bought a dacha this summer. So I'm not sure, I'm not sure about this, like people from the unfriendly countries can't buy property, because I know that was like early after the SMO started. I remember that did come out, but then they reevaluated. So actually in August, I bought a dacha.
So they made a big deal about that. They made a huge stink about it, and then they just sort of undid it, I guess.
Kinda. Yeah, I have the document somewhere like this.
Well, here's a question. How good are you at reading Russian?
I got a lawyer friend to read it for me, because that kind of.
Well, the one thing I would really ask you to do is just so I can sleep at night. There's a thing called the YGRN. It is like the registry of property in Russia, and you should have a document, but you can find this online. There's like a map. It's called like a kadastrovaya karta online, and try to find your piece of property that you bought, that dacha, and see if your name's on it. Sometimes
YGRN.
Yeah, or talk to someone who's actually Russian about that, because there's also it's YGRN, it's vypiska. Like vypiska is YGRN. If you have that vypiska is YGRN, that's the document that essentially says who owns something. You can go to your what's that called, the multifunctional center or whatever for bureaucracy in your local area, and I think it costs like 300-400 rubles to get it. And if you can't find it online for free, and if you can kind of find out and see whose name is on it, that's really important, because if your name's on it, that is a fantastic sign. If after this much time, so you bought it last summer, if your name's not on it, something bad happened to you. Okay, so yeah.
So that's 4 letters, YGRN или YGN?
YGR. Was it единственная государственная регистрация недвижимости?
Okay. I'll definitely look into that.
I'll just find you the website. Hold on. Let's see. Wait. Well, you know what we can do? Oh my God, we can turn this into an interactive adventure. Let me get my everything back on the screen. So anyways, we'll mute you. Let's share the screen, screen 2. So let's see. Start share screen. Come on. Okay. Carta. Public. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this. So anyways, maybe this isn't it, but it's something similar to it. Let's see. Does it have all the... Is it actually going to do it? Yeah, so this is it. It's probably not going to show you who owns anything. Okay, come on. Give me the info on this place. Hold on. Why is it taking so long? That's not good. Ugh. Yeah, they're not going to put the name on it. You basically have to, but you have to have that number. So this number up here, Cadastry Nomer, this is actually the number of the piece of property that you own. And what you would do is, if you don't have that number on hand or you have no idea what I'm talking about, you go on the map, you find your dacha, you click on it, and you have to get this number, okay? And then that number is what you would take to your multifunctional center, and you would show them that and be like, hey, I need that Vypiska iz EGRN. And they're going to be like, give me 300 or 400 rubles. And you say, okay. And then they'll print out a fresh thing from the National Registry. And on that, it should say on the front page at somewhere your first, middle, and last name. Okay? That's what you're going to need to do. In fact, where even are we? I didn't even really notice. Are we around Moscow? Kind of. Klimovsk. We're actually not that far from Chekhov. Amazing. It's destiny. So, anyways, let's stop doing that. Share screen. Stop sharing. Okay. Anyways, let me check the chat there. Maybe there's some more questions, but I think we might be going. So, anyways, Alex continues, I live here on a tourist 3-year multiple entry visa, so I can't buy a house yet since I'm on the unfriendly. Well, see, now we just have from Russia firsthand that he was able to buy something. So again, Russia firsthand, for our sake, dude, gotta find out if you actually really did buy something. Well, one thing, let me ask you. Yeah, you want to speak. I don't know. Who are these people you bought this from? How official was this process? Did you go through a bank or something? Or did you take out like a mortgage? What's the deal with this? Hello? Hello, you're online.
Hello.
Oh my God. Yes, hello.
Hi. So yeah, I was just looking at my documents. I was at Rosregister. I have my Kadastrova Kvartala number. My name is on it, and
not
it's
the Kvartal number. No, that's different. But anyways, is your name on it?
I also have the Kadastrova Nomera, and my name is on it, and I was at the MFITC, and it was
important. Remember, Kadastrovy Nomer. But anyways, yeah.
Dat Prisvoyenia Kadastrovova Nomera.
Okay, is your name on it?
Yes. And it's stamped from the MFITC, and it was bought through Sberbank.
You're okay. You're okay, dude. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Is what happens is whenever you make a sale of land, all that information is sort of sent to this bureaucratic entity. And basically, in some ways, this actually makes that entity, this map is like the most powerful map in Russia. Because whatever the map says is reality. If it has your name on it, it's yours. If your name isn't on there, it ain't yours. And if you see your name on there, and that name is connected to the proper Kadastrovy Nomer, then zashibis, everything is fine, and you're all set, man. Okay?
I'm definitely going to check out that map now.
What? Well, one thing can I ask, does it say what kind of land it is, whether it's Izhayas or Sadovod or something like that?
Well, Zemельный участок.
Zemельный участок, and that's it? Nothing?
No, well, there's two of them, right? Because one's for the участок and one is for the dome.
Yeah.
But I might not be looking in the proper place. I'd need to ask my girlfriend. to
Okay, that's all right.
what in particular I want to
So,
know.
like, if you look at it says "Категория земель, земли земли населенных пунктов" is what I have on here
Ага.
on this one. So, is it like what is the категория земель?
Да.
Земель.
Земли сельскохозяйственного назначения.
Oh no! How'd that work out?
What you mean?
You're not allowed to legally build anything on that. How could there be a house on it?
Well, it's in an SNT.
Then it has to be then. That's a little bit of a paradox.
I don't know.
No, well, if it's in an SNT, then it's fine, and no one's going to ever bring it up. But that is weird because it should be so something like sadavodstva is the proper for that. That's weird. But anyways, never bring it up, especially to anyone in the government, and you'll be fine. They'll never check. So interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also because in the past, foreigners have never been able to buy that type of land. That's another thing, like ever, because it's of strategic importance. So,
yeah.
But all right, man. Well, anyways, dude, congratulations. You have your dacha. You have your your start to life here in Russia, and you're all set. You're doing a lot better than me, man, because you sound younger than I am. It took me a long time to get that first dacha. So anyways, congratulations. We're going to mute you. Read the final questions if there are any, and then we're going to call this phase 2 of the live stream complete, and I'm going to upload them tomorrow separately. So I wonder what happens to your property when your visa expires. It just sits there. It sits there and collects dust. I'm pretty sure there's really no way for them to sort of take it away from you, but who knows? Yeah, that's it. Oh, okay, that's it, guys. All right. So we had a big discussion earlier on the first live stream about the huge news that there's now a special committee to help you move to Russia. Holy moly. So that's awesome. What's a little less awesome is now every possible bank is sanctioned. All of them are sanctioned. But apparently you could take a bus to Finland and use Western Union, or you can use Bitcoin. And so at least for now we can survive. But guys, the money transfer thing keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So we have good news and we have bad news. Anyways, friends, I'm going to hit the road. It was great talking to you. Tim Kirby, signing out. Oh, boy.